I don't believe that artist block is caused by a lack of creativity or inspiration. The fact that you ever did make art or currently want to make art is already an indicator that you are in fact creative, that you desire to create something. In fact, I believe that all of us are innately creative. Some of us just stopped acting on that innate ability. Maybe it happened in childhood, maybe later on as a teenager, maybe as an adult. Perhaps the fact that your creativity isn't being used right now is more because of a psychological barrier, rather than a lack of skill or talent or motivation. And this shows itself in so many different ways, like fear of making a bad work of art, fear of wasting art materials, fear that you've lost your skills, that you're not a good enough artist, fear of judgment and external opinions, fear that the one negative thing someone said about your work might actually be true, fear of disappointing yourself or others. So many fears. The list just goes on. But ask yourself if they are truly rational. And do they actually matter at the end of the day on this giant floating rock hurling through the universe of billions of galaxies and stars? So what if you make a bad work of art or something you don't like? It's okay. You don't have to show it to anyone. You can just learn from it. Consider it an educational experience. It's unrealistic to expect yourself to make masterpieces every single time anyway. Every artist, even professional ones, make art that they might not like. It's just a normal part of being an artist. Actually, it's a normal part of learning any skill, not just art. And because of that, I don't think you can ever waste your art materials if you're actually using them. That is exactly what they're there for. The only way you're wasting them is by letting them sit forgotten on a shelf for months or years on end. Being a good enough artist is a concept that means something different to so many people. It's so subjective that it's not even worth entertaining that. You won't do yourself any favors. The fact is, you are an artist, and you deserve to make art. You deserve to create, and no one on this earth deserves the power to stop you from doing something you love. I've been sharing my work online for well over a decade, and in that time, several of my paintings have gone viral. And when something goes viral, you are guaranteed to attract a lot of haters. People who just, for some reason, have to tell you how much you suck. Like, I've heard it all and then some. And honestly, probably none of it has been worse than what my own brain has conjured up for me, but that's a whole other thing. But you know what? I'm still here. I'm still painting, and I will continue painting for as long as I am able, because I just love it that much. It's not about pleasing other people for me. It's about my own personal fulfillment in expressing something that I want to capture. I don't need my paintings to be the best, most unique, most highly rendered paintings in the world. It's really not about that for me, and there are so many different reasons that each painting comes into existence, but none of them are for the purpose of trying to please every single person that's going to see them. That's impossible and never going to happen. And honestly, some of those paintings are just for me, and they will never see the light of day. I just love to make art. And if my little paintings inspire someone else to make art as well, that is the best thing you could tell me. There are many other reasons that you might feel blocked from this natural flow of inspiration and creativity that drives us to make art. Perhaps there are external stressors that take up a lot of mental and emotional bandwidth. Maybe there are so many challenges all at once in your life that you can't even fathom how there could be room to enjoy the luxury of making art. Of course, I wish I could magically make those problems disappear for you, but I don't have that kind of power. But I do hope that if you need real help, you seek it out, whether it's asking a friend or seeking therapy or something else. If you feel that you truly need help, please get yourself some help and take the steps towards being in a better place. What now? Like, okay, we get it. There are things that got you here. The artist block is here in full force. It's been a very long time since you've made anything. Now what? How do you get out of it? How do you fix the artist block? I have good news and bad news. The good news is that you can and will overcome it. The bad news, it's going to take some effort. Overcoming artist block requires a consistent and deliberate effort. It's not something that we can just magically cure with an elixir or by watching a video. Although how amazing would that be, right? No, unfortunately, you have to put in some effort. Imagine you have an inner artist, this curious, childlike being, and imagine that this being has been shoved into a dark dungeon for so long, they've gone a little little feral and maybe forgot how to play or act right, there needs to be some gentle, safe coaxing back into the light. I'm just going to share some of what generally works for me and other artists I've talked to throughout the years. Existing in the modern world unfortunately means that our brains get blasted with information every single day, including right now. You are willingly blasting your brain with information, but hopefully this is the beneficial kind. Sometimes we willingly do this to ourselves in a bad way by being glued to our phones and doom scrolling on a couch. This is a very common one for a lot of us, myself included. Like, imagine how much time you've lost just doing absolutely nothing worthwhile on your phone, consuming content, consuming information, and not creating anything. Tons of input, but no output. I am right there with you. This is an ongoing battle, and I hate it. If you don't have a phone addiction, I am so jealous of you. Like, truly, I admire that so much. So please, maybe drop something in the comments of what you did that helps you. I'm sure many of us would benefit from it. And maybe this section of the video is not for you, so do us all a favor and help. Tell us in the comments, what did you do? But for the rest of us, if we are to make room in our lives for creating art or for being inspired and motivated, significantly cutting back and detoxing from screen time is an absolute non-negotiable must. These internet algorithms are like psychological drugs. They are specifically researched and designed in a way to hook and keep you there. And at this point, so many people far smarter than I could ever hope to be have already said it. It's just not good for us. It gets you addicted to cheap, easy dopamine, and it makes it harder to find normal activities in your life as satisfying. So whatever it takes, please get off your phone. Personally, I try to make a strong effort to go on daily walks, and as cliche as this might sound, to get my 10,000 steps a day. In general, going on regular walks has been proven to reduce stress, improve your mood, improve your brain function, and lower risk for depression. I think exercise tends to have negative connotation around it. Maybe it's from the 90s and 2000s culture, like it was seen as a punishment you have to do to your body. So I like to think of it as joyful movement. And there are so many benefits to moving your body. So if you're able-bodied, walking is one of the easiest and most beneficial things you can do for yourself, especially if you have access to nature. Exercise in general, or we can call it joyful movement, whatever that looks like, is important for not only our physical health, but also our mental health. I know, it's annoying, but it's true. But when you engage with your body in this way, it actually helps you get in touch with your creativity because of all the other benefits you're getting. This has become a habit I truly look forward to every single day, unless there are extreme weather conditions, but often I still go outside for a walk, even if there's some light rain. Maybe that's a little crazy, but going on a walk in the rain just makes me feel so alive. Of course, I actually can do that in Washington because I'm not going to get struck by lightning the way I would in Florida. So that's a great benefit. Obviously, if you live in an area with lots of death lasers shooting from the sky, maybe don't go walking in the rain. And if opportunity allows, I love to go on a hike in nature in the mountains and bring my sketchbook along with me. Speaking of sketchbooks, let's say you are intimidated by the idea of a blank canvas. Why don't you try working in a sketchbook? You can even combine journaling with this. Establishing a regular sketchbook habit can do wonders for your creativity. It's a low-pressure, safe place for you to experiment and practice listening to that inner artist whisper that's telling you to draw something. I like to carry a small sketchbook with me along with some very minimal art materials everywhere I go. And I mean everywhere. I might not always use it, but it's there for me if I want to. I never want to find myself in a situation where I really want to draw something right then and there, but I don't have my materials. I've been there before and it was not a good feeling. So I avoid that now, and I try to make art materials available to me at all times, even if it's just a little sketchbook and some pencils. Also, let me know if you'd like to see a video about what art materials I carry with me everywhere I go. A sketchbook also gives you a safe place to make something you might not like. You can just flip over to the next page and move on. A page in a sketchbook also doesn't carry the same pressure. It doesn't require the same time commitment. So if you are swamped and life is busy, even like 10 minutes a day spent drawing in a sketchbook is a far better use of your time than doom scrolling on that evil phone. Another thing I fully believe and know to be true after making art for most of my life, after nearly 13 years of doing this for my career, is that inspiration finds you when you're already working. There are so many paintings that were born in my mind because I was already working on a painting. Like one painting leads to another and another and another. Sometimes artist block happens because too much time has gone by since you last drew or painted. There's a big void between now and your last work of art. And the more time that goes by, the easier it is to keep letting that time go by, because it becomes comfortable to not make art. It's like your new baseline. And the more time that goes by, the comfier you get with not making art. And the scarier coming back starts to feel. So it's really important to keep showing up. Don't let too much time pass between your art. Even if showing up looks like grabbing your sketchbook, flipping to a page, and doing a little 10-minute doodle. Maybe you might not even like that doodle. That's okay. Completely okay. It's still better than not doing anything at all. There is so much power in consistency and in showing up, especially with art. Quantity over quality. And when you focus on the quality will take care of itself. Using your creativity is both a skill and a habit that you can develop, and eventually get to a point where not creating art regularly is what feels wrong and uncomfortable. Although I can ramble about this topic for ages and ages, I wanted to share one final point that I think is super important regarding nourishing that inner creative well. And it's that we need new and enriching experiences. This can mean something different for everyone. This doesn't mean a grand vacation or something like that. You can find this in little ways. One way that I stay inspired to paint is by engaging in other hobbies outside of painting and trying something new. For example, earlier this year, I took a blacksmithing class and I forged a blade out of a horseshoe. It was such a cool feeling to accomplish that. Something else that has been really feeding my soul is my love for skating. I started figure skating classes in my late 20s and I absolutely fell in love, but I stopped during pregnancy. And after having a baby, I let so much time slip away before returning to the ice. And it didn't have to be that way. I could have just gotten back into it, but for some reason I didn't. I just kind of like made it a bigger deal in my head than it had to be. And I always missed it so much. And just this past year, after nearly 5 years of not skating, I went back to the rink, I started working with a new coach, and finally passed my first adult USFS figure skating test. It might seem like skating has nothing to do with painting, but letting yourself play and enjoy the things you loved as a kid is actually what fills that inner creative well. And you can later pull from that well to fuel your art. Again, like I mentioned, walking in nature, going on regular walks daily is a free, easy activity that really helps me. Hiking in the mountains is another big one for me because being surrounded by trees is so comforting. I love bringing my art supplies along with me and just being there with nature, appreciating being alive. It's an amazing feeling. I also love gardening and growing flowers. I actually find myself drawn to painting the flowers that grew in my garden. And to be completely honest with you, I have way too many hobbies that I can keep up with. I'm always cycling through them, but those are just a few. And I don't know what enrichment looks like for you. Again, we're all different. We all are interested in different things. But a really good guide, if you don't know, is to do what you loved doing as a kid. Your inner child, who you were as a kid, is like a little guiding light. What were your hobbies? What were your interests? Did you have a sport that you loved? You can still do those things. You can still play, even as an adult. And oftentimes you end up wanting to draw or paint these experiences that you're living. They can be like a guide for where you want your art to go, or at the very least, help you put more time in and show up creatively. I get so much inspiration from my nature walks and hikes, and I end up using the photos I take during them as source material for my paintings. We are just not meant to be cogs in the machine, grinding away for survival. That is what's killing off our creativity. And I know that's the system we're currently stuck in, and it's not easy to break out of it. Like, we all have to work, we all have to survive. But letting yourself be creative is in itself an act of rebellion against this late-stage capitalist soul-eating system. There is one book that absolutely changed my life when I first read it. I do believe it's a huge reason why I've been a full-time artist and creating consistently for over 13 years now. It certainly helped facilitate that and inspired me so much that I actually had the confidence to pursue this. And I've recommended it on this channel a long time ago, but that book is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And I just want to warn you, just in case, but there is a fair amount of what many people, maybe including myself, would refer to as woo-woo or magical thinking in this book. And it's completely okay if that is not something you're into. You can still benefit from this book. And honestly, you don't need to believe in anything to benefit from the tools and exercises that this book provides. There are two really important tools that the book mentions. They are the morning pages and artist dates. These have been so beneficial to me, and I still do them to this day. So that is my homework assignment for you. Start your morning pages. You can Google what that is and start right away. Ideally, you also get the book, read it, do the exercises. If you have a library card, you can actually use an app called Libby to borrow the digital copy of the book for free. It'll send it to your e-reader. And another book I'd love to recommend to you on this topic is Art and Fear by Ted Orland and David Bales. So that being said, I just want to reiterate that you cannot rely on hopes and dreams and some magical epiphany one day to show up and cure your artist block. You need to take deliberate action in order to be consistently creative. It might take some healing. It might take some time. And a lot of that effort requires nourishing your mind and body and filling that inner creative well with beauty and wonder, so you have something in that well to pull from and use for your art. Remember that you deserve to create, so be gentle and patient with yourself. I hope this video was a little bit helpful. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything else I missed or if there's something that helped you personally overcome artist block. Thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing you a beautiful and inspiring day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye everyone.